The bright dots appeared in Earth's sky without warning. 53 alien ships, each shaped like smooth stones, hovered silently over major cities. People everywhere stopped and stared upward. Some ran in fear, others took videos, while governments worldwide scrambled their forces. Captain Junho Lee of the United Earth Defense Force was eating breakfast when the emergency alert blared through his apartment. He rushed to headquarters in Seoul, where screens showed the alien vessels in formation. Scientists confirmed these weren't asteroids or natural phenomena. These were constructed vessels of unknown origin. "Any hostile actions?" Junho asked, pulling on his uniform jacket. "None, sir," replied Lieutenant Subin. "They're just waiting." 3 hours after their arrival, the aliens broadcast their first message simultaneously to all communication channels worldwide. The message was simple, translated into every major human language. "We come in peace. We request talks regarding immediate ceasefire." World leaders gathered in emergency session. The aliens requested a meeting with Earth's representatives at a neutral location. After heated debate, the United Nations Space Committee was selected to make first contact, with Captain Junho assigned as military liaison due to his calm temperament and linguistic skills. The meeting point was a field outside New York. Junho stood beside Dr. Minji Kang, Earth's chief xenobiologist, as the smallest alien ship descended. His hand rested nervously on his sidearm. "Remember," Dr. Kang whispered, "show no aggressive movements." A doorway appeared in the ship's smooth surface. 2 beings emerged, tall, slender creatures with bluish skin and 4 arms. They wore no visible weapons, only simple robes with intricate patterns. The taller alien stepped forward. "I am Ambassador Taiho of the Galactic Conclave. We come with urgent concern for your planet's safety." Dr. Kang bowed slightly. "We welcome you to Earth. I am Dr. Kang and this is Captain Lee. We have observed your nuclear detonations," Taiho continued. "The Conclave cannot permit such warfare to expand beyond your system. We request immediate cessation of hostilities." Junho and Minji exchanged confused glances. "There must be some misunderstanding," Junho said carefully. "Earth is not at war." The second alien made a series of clicking sounds. Taiho's large eyes blinked rapidly. "Our sensors detected multiple nuclear energy releases in your oceans and deserts. We also detected unusual quantum signals directed toward nearby star systems. These are recognized patterns of aggressive species expansion." Dr. Kang stepped forward. Those were controlled tests of clean fusion technology, and the signals were from research probes, scientific missions, not military ones. The aliens conferred in their language, a mix of clicks and musical tones. Their body language showed clear confusion. "You claim you are not engaged in warfare?" Taiho finally asked. "We have regional conflicts," Junho admitted, "but nothing involving nuclear weapons. Those days ended decades ago." Taiho produced a small device that projected images of Earth's nuclear tests and the launch of deep space probes toward Alpha Centauri. "Your development pattern is highly unusual," the alien said. "Most species do not achieve quantum communication capabilities before mastering basic interstellar travel, yet you send messages to distant stars when you can barely reach your own moon." "We're curious," Minji explained. "We want to know if anyone's out there before we visit." The aliens seemed troubled by this explanation. They conferred again more urgently. "We must report this discrepancy to the Conclave," Taiho finally said. "Our mission was to negotiate peace with a warring species about to spread conflict to the stars. But you claim to be peaceful despite your technological focus on weapons and long-range communications." "We develop what we need," Junho said. "Space travel is difficult and expensive. Communication is cheaper." The meeting concluded with an agreement for further talks. As the aliens returned to their ship, Junho noticed their posture had changed, more rigid, more cautious. Back at headquarters, analysts reported unusual scanning activity from the alien fleet. The ships were thoroughly examining Earth's military installations, power plants, and communication arrays. "They don't believe us," Junho told the emergency council that night. They came expecting to find a planet at war with itself, ready to bring that war to the stars. But we're not at war, said the Secretary General. That's what worries them, Dr. Kang replied. They expected a certain pattern of development, and we don't fit it. We focused on communication before transportation, defense before exploration. From their perspective, we're preparing for something. That evening, Ambassador Taiho requested another meeting, this time with Earth's military leadership. His message was direct. The Conclave has observed your species for decades. Your technological development suggests preparation for conflict on a scale beyond your planet. We came to stop what we believed was ongoing warfare, but now we fear we may have discovered something more concerning, a species planning for future wars not yet begun. Junho looked at the night sky filled with alien ships and realized humanity's first contact had started with a profound misunderstanding. The aliens hadn't come to save humans from themselves. They had come because they feared what humans might become. Retry SF. The Grand Meeting Hall of the United Nations buzzed with tension. Representatives from every nation sat in anxious silence as the alien delegation entered. Ambassador Taiho led 5 other aliens, each with different skin tones ranging from pale blue to deep purple. They moved with fluid grace despite Earth's stronger gravity. Captain Junho stood at attention beside the podium where Dr. Minji Kang would serve as Earth's primary spokesperson. Security teams lined the walls, weapons carefully hidden but accessible. Welcome to our formal council, Dr. Kang began after the aliens had settled into specially designed seats. We hope this meeting will clear up any misunderstandings between our peoples. Taiho's large eyes blinked slowly. We appreciate your hospitality, though we remain concerned. Our mission was clear, to request a ceasefire from a species on the brink of carrying warfare to neighboring stars. The alien produced a small device that projected 3-dimensional images into the center of the room. Earth's nuclear tests from the past decade, satellite launches, and deep space probes. These activities match the pattern of species entering their aggressive expansion phase, Taiho explained. The energy signatures of your tests suggest weapons development, not energy research as you claim. Dr. Kang looked to Do-hyun Park, Earth's leading nuclear physicist, who stepped forward. With respect, Ambassador, you've misinterpreted our work, Do-hyun said. These tests were for clean fusion containment systems, energy production, not weapons. The radiation pattern is different from weapons testing. The aliens conferred in their clicking language. One of them, smaller than the others with a greenish tint, approached the display and manipulated it with 4 slender fingers, zooming in on certain energy readings. Hana is our science specialist, Taiho explained. She believes your explanation is possible, though unusual. Hana spoke, her voice higher and more melodic than Taiho's. If these are indeed energy experiments, why conduct them in remote ocean locations and deserts rather than populated areas where energy is needed? Safety, Do-hyun replied simply. New technologies can be unpredictable. Hana made a sound like gentle wind chimes, perhaps their version of thoughtful humming. And these? The display changed to show Earth's deep space probes. Captain Junho stepped forward. Unmanned research vehicles. They carry scientific instruments and cultural messages, art, music, mathematical formulas, invitations to communicate, not threats. Taiho seemed troubled. You send messages before you can physically travel to these places. This is inefficient. We're curious, Junho explained. We want to know if anyone's out there before we commit resources to visiting. Or before you commit weapons, added another alien with dark purple skin. The room tensed. Security personnel shifted subtly. Dr. Kang maintained her calm. We have no plans for interstellar warfare. Our space program is peaceful. Then explain. This, said Taiho, changing the display to show military satellites in Earth orbit. Your planet is surrounded by weapons platforms. The Secretary of Defense stood up. Those are defensive systems to protect against meteorites and space debris. They're also used to track weather patterns and maintain communications. That can target ships like ours with remarkable precision, Taiho countered. Our sensors detected targeting locks the moment we entered your system. An uncomfortable silence filled the room. It was true. Earth's defenses had automatically tracked the alien vessels upon arrival. Any species would be cautious when unknown ships appear suddenly, Junho said carefully. Wouldn't your people do the same? For the first time, Taiho seemed to hesitate. The Conclave has established protocols for first contact that avoid such misunderstandings. We had no such protocols because we had no proof we weren't alone, Dr. Kang pointed out. Until yesterday. The meeting continued for hours, as each side tried to understand the other. The aliens' primary concern became increasingly clear. They weren't worried about Earth's current capabilities but its potential. Their predictive model showed humanity advancing rapidly once certain technological hurdles were overcome. Your species develops unevenly, Hana observed. You master quantum communication before basic interstellar travel. You create sophisticated, artificial intelligence but still burn fossil fuels. You cure genetic diseases but maintain nuclear arsenals. We're complicated, Junho admitted. During a brief recess, Junho overheard two aliens discussing in what they thought was private. Their development pattern matches no known species profile, one said. The Conclave's prediction models cannot be applied, which makes them unpredictable, the other replied. The Council will not approve. When the meeting resumed, Taiho's tone had changed. We came offering membership in the Galactic Conclave, a collective of peaceful species sharing knowledge and resources. But first, we require assurance that Earth will not become a threat to galactic stability. What kind of assurance? Asked Dr. Kang cautiously. Limitations on certain technologies, oversight of your space program, restricted development of quantum weapons capabilities. The human delegation erupted in protests. Captain Junho watched the aliens carefully and noticed something odd. Taiho seemed almost relieved by the negative reaction, while Hana and others appeared genuinely concerned. You misunderstand us as much as we misunderstand you, Junho said quietly when the room calmed. You came expecting either victims needing rescue from self-destruction or aggressors requiring containment. We are neither. As the second day of meetings ended, both sides retreated to consider their positions. Walking back to his temporary quarters, Junho realized the fundamental problem. The aliens feared not what humanity was, but what it might become. On the third day of negotiations, the alien delegation requested a tour of human scientific facilities. After much debate about security concerns, Earth's Council agreed to show them 3 locations: a quantum research laboratory in Seoul, a space launch facility in Kenya, and a deep-sea energy production plant in the Pacific. Captain Junho accompanied Dr. Minji Kang and Ambassador Taiho to the Seoul Quantum Research Institute. The building looked ordinary from outside, a simple glass and steel structure surrounded by cherry trees. Inside was anything but ordinary. This is our main research floor, Dr. Kang explained as they entered a vast chamber filled with equipment. Scientists in white coats moved between workstations, occasionally glancing nervously at the alien visitors. Hana, the alien scientist, moved immediately toward a central device, a spherical chamber suspended in a magnetic field. This is a quantum entanglement communicator, she asked, her forehands moving in what seemed like excitement. Dr. Jisoo Kim, the lab director, nodded. Yes. We can instantaneously link quantum particles regardless of distance. We've successfully maintained connections with particles on our Mars station. Without any transmission delay? Taiho asked sharply. None, Dr. Kim confirmed. The connection is instant. The aliens exchanged rapid clicks and musical notes. Junho couldn't understand their language, but their body language suggested surprise. This technology typically develops thousands of years after achieving reliable interstellar travel, Hana explained. Yet your ships can barely reach your neighboring planet. Dr. Kim shrugged. Different research priorities. Space travel requires massive resources. Communication is just as important but less expensive. Taiho moved to another device. And this? Quantum computing architecture, Dr. Kim said. It helps us model complex systems, weather patterns, protein folding, economic trends, and warfare scenarios. Taeho added quietly. The room went silent. Dr. Kim glanced at Captain Junho, who gave a small nod. Yes, she admitted. Also defense simulations. Any advanced technology has multiple applications. Later at the Kenyan Space Center, the aliens observed a satellite launch. What impressed them wasn't the rocket technology, which they found primitive, but the satellite's purpose, a network node for quantum-secured global communications. Your species prioritizes information exchange over physical movement, Taeho noted as they watched the rocket disappear into the blue sky. This is unusual. Knowledge is valuable, Junho said. We can learn about distant places before spending resources to visit them. The final stop was the Pacific Deep Energy Facility, a massive platform floating above an underwater complex that harvested energy from temperature differences in ocean layers. What the aliens found most interesting wasn't the technology itself, but the cooperation required to build it. 17 nations contributed resources to this project, explained engineer Sung-Ho Park. It provides clean energy to areas thousands of kilometers away. Yet your nations maintain separate military forces, Taeho observed. You cooperate on energy but compete on defense. We're complicated, Junho repeated his earlier explanation. We can be both competitive and cooperative. That evening, in Zodiandoro, a private meeting room at the UN, Ambassador Taeho requested to speak with only Captain Junho and Dr. Kang. The other aliens were noticeably absent. What I'm about to share is not the official position of the conclave, Taeho began once they were alone. But after seeing your facilities today, I feel compelled to speak more openly. The alien produced a small crystal that projected a three-dimensional star map of the galaxy. Thousands of dots in various colors filled the room. Each colored light represents a different spacefaring civilization, Taeho explained. Blue are members of the conclave. Green are protected developing species. Red are, he hesitated, problematic cases. And Earth? Dr. Kang asked. Taeho touched the crystal, and the map zoomed to show Earth's solar system, marked with a pulsing yellow dot. Unclassified, he said, and that is unprecedented in our 50,000 years of record-keeping. Why? Junho asked. Because you don't fit any known development pattern, Taeho explained. Species typically master faster-than-light travel before quantum communication. They usually unify globally before reaching neighboring planets. They almost always exhaust their planetary resources before developing clean energy alternatives. And we've done the opposite, Dr. Kang realized. Exactly. Your development is backwards by our standards. You've mastered technologies that should be centuries apart in your development. This suggests either remarkable adaptability or... What? Junho prompted when Taeho went silent. Outside interference, the alien admitted reluctantly. Some in the conclave believe your unusual development may indicate that another spacefaring race has been secretly guiding your progress. The humans exchanged shocked glances. That's not possible, Dr. Kang insisted. We've developed everything ourselves. Perhaps, Taeho said, not sounding convinced. But your quantum technology rivals species 1,000 years your senior. Your AI research follows paths even the conclave hasn't fully explored. And most concerning to my superiors, your military adaptability is exceptional despite your limited resources. We've had lots of practice, Junho said grimly. Human history is filled with conflicts. That's precisely what worries the Conclave Council, Taeho replied. You've developed in a way that maximizes both information gathering and potential military application across vast distances, all before you can physically travel those distances yourselves. You make it sound like we're preparing for something, Dr. Kang said. Aren't you? Taeho asked simply. The question that divides the conclave is, preparing for what? And whether the galaxy should wait to find out. The morning sunlight streamed through the tall windows of the United Nations meeting hall. After 4 days of talks, both sides had grown more comfortable with each other, yet an undercurrent of tension remained. Today's session would be different. Ambassador Taeho had requested to address Earth's full leadership council without his alien colleagues present. Captain Junho noticed the ambassador seemed troubled as he entered. The tall blue alien moved, with less fluid grace than usual, his forearms held close to his body in what they'd learned was a defensive posture. "Thank you for agreeing to this private session," Taiho began. "What I must share today is not the official position of the conclave but information I believe you need to know." The room grew quiet. World leaders leaned forward in their seats. Dr. Minji Kang activated the translation systems to ensure nothing would be missed. The conclave sent our delegation with a simple mission: to confirm if Earth posed a threat to galactic stability, and to establish protocols to contain that threat if necessary. Taiho paused, his large eyes scanning the room. "I must now inform you that the conclave is divided on its assessment of humanity." He activated a small device that projected images of various alien species, creatures of different shapes, colors, and anatomies. These are the 27 founding members of the Galactic Conclave. For 50,000 years they have maintained peace across 12,000 light-years of space. Their approach to emerging spacefaring species has always been cautious but consistent. Observe, evaluate, and when appropriate, invite into the community. The images change to show planets at different stages of development. New species are classified based on predictable development patterns. Some advance quickly through technologies but destroy their home planets. Others develop slowly but sustainably. Some focus on biological advancement, others on mechanical. Taiho touched the device again, and Earth appeared, a blue marble against the blackness of space. Humanity fits none of these patterns. You develop unevenly. You master communication before transportation. You create artificial intelligence, systems that exceed your own computational abilities. You maintain competing military forces while cooperating on global projects. Dr. Kang spoke up. "You've mentioned this before. Is our unusual development path really so concerning?" "Yes," Taiho said bluntly, "because it suggests intent." A murmur ran through the room. "I don't understand," said the Secretary General. "The Conclave's predictive models are built on data from thousands of species," Taiho explained. "When a species develops in an unexpected way, it usually indicates deliberate planning rather than natural evolution. Your focus on information gathering, quantum communication, and adaptive defense systems suggests preparation for something specific." Captain Junho felt a chill run down his spine. "You think we're preparing for war?" Taiho's body shifted in what they now recognized as discomfort. Some in the conclave believe humanity is developing exactly the technologies needed to wage interstellar warfare without the ability to physically travel between stars. Your quantum communication could coordinate attacks across vast distances. Your AI systems could operate autonomous weapons platforms. Your adaptability makes you unpredictable opponents. "That's ridiculous," the defense minister objected. "We can barely reach our own moon reliably. How could we possibly threaten species light years away?" "The concern isn't what you are now," Taiho said quietly. "It's what you will become." He touched his device again, and a timeline appeared, a projection of human technological development over the next century. "Once you overcome your current limitations, our models predict an expansion rate unmatched by any known species. Within 100 of your years, humanity could potentially control a sphere of influence 50 light-years in diameter. Within 500 years, you could reach most of the galaxy's habitable systems." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "This is just a projection," Dr. Kang pointed out, "based on models designed for other species." "Yes," Taiho agreed, "but the Conclave Council makes decisions based on such projections, and many believe the safest course is preventive action." "What kind of action?" Junho asked, though he already suspected the answer. Taiho seemed to shrink slightly. "There are 3 factions in the council. The first believes humanity should be invited into the conclave immediately, with appropriate technological safeguards. The second advocates for containment, limiting your development through imposed restrictions. The third," he paused, clearly uncomfortable. "The third faction believes Earth should be quarantined completely. No contact, No trade, no information exchange. Some even suggest more. Permanent solutions. The implications hung in the air. Permanent solutions. Extinction. You came under the pretense of negotiating a ceasefire, the Secretary General said slowly, but actually came to determine if we should be eliminated before we can become a threat. I came to prevent that outcome, Tahoe corrected. My faction believes humanity deserves the chance to join the galactic community, but I must warn you, your response to the Conclave's offer will determine which faction prevails. What offer? Dr. Kang asked. Tomorrow, my colleagues will formally invite Earth to join the Conclave, with conditions. Those conditions will include restrictions on certain technologies, oversight of your space program, and limitations on your quantum research. Captain Junho stood up. You're asking us to limit our own development based on what you fear we might become? Yes, Tahoe said simply, because the alternative is far worse. As the meeting ended, Dr. Kang looked at the projection still hovering in the air, humanity's potential future among the stars, now shadowed by an unexpected threat from those who had already reached them. We always wondered if we were alone in the universe, she said quietly to Junho. We never considered that finding others might be more dangerous than finding no one at all. The Grand Hall was silent, as the full alien delegation presented their formal offer. 6 conclave representatives stood in a perfect semicircle, their differently colored skin reflecting the lights from above. Ambassador Tahoe stood slightly apart, his posture rigid. The Galactic Conclave extends an invitation to Earth to join our peaceful collective, announced the lead alien, a tall purple-skinned being named Juno. This historic opportunity comes with mutual responsibilities. On large screens, the terms appeared in all Earth languages simultaneously. Captain Junho read them with growing concern. Earth must accept conclave oversight of all space exploration beyond your moon. Quantum communication research must be shared with and approved by conclave scientists. Military applications of artificial intelligence must cease. All interstellar messages must be reviewed before transmission. A conclave observation post will be established in your solar system. Dr. Minji Kang glanced at world leaders, noting their expressions ranging from outrage to calculation. She caught Tahoe's eye briefly. The alien gave an almost imperceptible nod. After a brief recess for private discussion, Earth's representatives returned. The Secretary General approached the podium, her face composed. We thank the Galactic Conclave for this invitation. Humanity has long dreamed of joining a community of intelligent species. She paused. However, we cannot accept these terms as presented. The alien delegates chittered among themselves. Juno stepped forward. This is unfortunate. The terms are non-negotiable. The Conclave has determined these safeguards necessary for galactic stability. We understand your concerns, the Secretary continued smoothly. But Earth must chart its own course. We propose instead a treaty of mutual non-aggression and cultural exchange, without technology restrictions. Unacceptable, Juno replied, immediately. The Conclave's predictive models clearly show the dangers of unrestricted human development. Captain Junho watched Tahoe carefully during this exchange. The alien remained silent, but Junho noticed a subtle change in his posture, a relaxing of tension. After 2 more hours of fruitless negotiation, the alien delegation announced they would return to their fleet to consult with the Conclave Council. As they prepared to leave, Tahoe approached Junho and Dr. Kang. I must speak with you privately before we depart, he said quietly. Meet me at the observatory in 1 hour. Come alone. The observatory on the UN building's roof was empty when Junho and Minji arrived. The night was clear, stars visible despite the city lights. They found Tahoe standing by a telescope gazing upward. Your response was as I expected, the alien said without turning. And perhaps as I hoped. You wanted us to refuse? Dr. Kang asked. I wanted you to remain true to your nature. Tahoe finally faced them. The terms were designed to be rejected. Juno's faction wanted proof that humans cannot be trusted to comply with Conclave guidance. So what happens now? Junho asked, hand instinctively moving toward his concealed weapon. Now the council will debate. Juno will argue for isolation protocols. Others will push for more drastic measures. Taiho's voice lowered. But there is another option. The alien produced a small crystal sphere from his robes. This contains scientific and cultural data from 12 conclave species. Star charts, technological concepts, historical records. Knowledge that might help humanity prepare. Prepare. For what? Dr. Kang asked, though she suspected the answer. For the possibility that the conclave will return with less peaceful intentions. Taiho held out the crystal. This is not authorized. If discovered, I would be considered a traitor. Junho hesitated. Why risk this? Why help us? Because your species reminds me of my own long ago. Taiho's large eyes seemed to reflect more than just starlight. Before the conclave, before the rigid protocols and fear of change, my people were once curious, adaptive, innovative, like humans. What changed? Dr. Kang asked. Security became more important than discovery. Stability more valued than growth. Taiho placed the crystal in Junho's reluctant hand. Not all in the conclave believe humanity must be controlled or eliminated. Some of us see potential allies. You're not alone in this? Junho asked. No. A small network exists within the conclave. Scientists, explorers, philosophers who believe diversity of thought is valuable. We call ourselves the Vanguard. Taiho looked back at the stars. 3 of us will remain behind when the fleet departs tomorrow. As spies? Dr. Kang asked sharply. As advisors, Taiho corrected. To help guide your development in ways that might ease the conclave's fears without limiting your potential. And if the conclave decides on these permanent solutions you mentioned? Junho asked. Then we will provide warning and whatever assistance we can. Taiho's voice was solemn. But understand this. You have perhaps 20 of your years before. The conclave reaches consensus. Use that time wisely. The next morning, the alien fleet departed Earth orbit in a display of light and motion that left millions watching in awe. Only 3 small ships remained behind, settling into orbit around Earth's moon. In a secure underground facility, scientists began studying the crystal Taiho had provided. Its contents would transform human understanding of physics, biology, and the nature of consciousness itself. Captain Junho stood beside Dr. Kang as they watched the first translations appear on screens. Do you trust them? He asked quietly. Not entirely, she admitted. But Taiho was right about one thing. We need to prepare. They came expecting to find a species ready to surrender, Junho mused. Instead, they found us, and that terrified them, Dr. Kang said, looking at the star charts now displayed before them. Thousands of inhabited worlds suddenly within theoretical reach. Because they realized we haven't even begun to show what humanity might become. Above them, beyond the concrete and steel, the night sky held both new allies and potential threats, and humanity's clock had started ticking.